What TV show would you love brought back? The first thing that comes to mind for me is The Black Donnellys. It was so fucking good, and it's such great potential to be an amazing show. Sadly it was cut short. Another great show that was cut short was Swamp Thing. The makers of the show really hit it out of the park, they nailed it. Such a huge bummer that it got cancelled. I also remember a show with Christian Slater called My Own Worst Enemy. It was great and I enjoyed it. I would love to see that come back, but it would have to have Christian Slater. He made that show. My Name is Earl needs one more season. Earl needed to finish his list then hook up with the school teacher he met in the third or fourth episode who he hit it off well with but karma kept getting in the way. Randy needs a good relationship with a woman. I think Joy would be good. Maybe Crabman could realize that Joy is something of a bitch and dumps her. Joy finds that the only guy who likes her for who she is Randy and they live happily ever after. Crabman and Catalina connect and live happily ever after. A modern take on Gilligan's Island. I think with stories like Peter Thiel's Seasteading, the submarine implosion, Fire Festival and all the billionaires building bunkers, you can have a lot of silly shenanigans with 7 castaways on a deserted island. Maybe Mr. Howe has a secret bunker. Maybe the professor wants to prove his former employers wrong. Maybe Mary Ann has 6 dead husbands. But also everything is a little silly and zany. Muppet Show. Watching the original feels both entertaining and like an entertainment time capsule. They brought in so many aging vaudevillians and young version stars who are the old guard today. I feel like there should be a foundation that funds a new season once every 10 years so it can capture the stars of the time in such a respectful, yet funny way. The Expanse is a science fiction series that is set in a future where humanity has colonized the solar system. The show was praised for its realistic portrayal of space travel, its complex characters, and its political intrigue. I would love to see The Expanse brought back for another season so that we can see how the story unfolds. Firefly was a space western series that aired for only 1 season, but it has since become a cult classic. The show was praised for its strong characters, complex storylines, and unique setting. I would love to see Firefly brought back for another season so that we can see what happens to the crew of Serenity next. Reaper have Brett Harrison's character just age naturally with the actor and do a time skip to modern day after he's been a successful Reaper for 15 years. I'd love to see such a dweeby character age into a grizzled, kick-ass demon hunter and then confront his destiny as the Antichrist. Ben 10 classic continuity. It should 039V never been rebooted and I wished we got that space road trip arc that got teased at the end of Omniverse which would 039V expanded the world building and be a good follow-up to the rest of the series. After recently seeing the side-by-side of the Simon Simon intro video for reference, I want Simon Simon brought back starring John Hamm and Adam Scott. Netflix's Space Force HBO's Avenue 5. Would genuinely pay good money to see them completed. And Trip 2015 would do exceedingly well today. It was a little too early for its time, I think. The Jeffersons. But well nowadays it probably would not be allowed. It was pure comedy gold. Or in living color but same thing the thin-skinned offended by everything would not allow it. The DuckTales remake. It was so brilliant and fun, and I love that they pulled from so much material the old Rosa comics to the video games. And they totally get the character of Donald Duck. My Name is Earl. Please finish the storyline that said, the actors have aged quite a bit. I feel the same way about Community and the subsequent and a movie we've all been waiting for. Not simply because what made them worth watching was the actors, directors and writers which cannot be duplicated or repeated 90 of the time and that is why they also fail. N.S. Some kind of follow-up on Mad Men would be awesome in terms of character, drama, story, etc. except that it would be set in the 1970s, not my favorite era aesthetically speaking. Married with Children. Only it would be a modern take on all the dysfunction and anxiety. They could side-by-side it with the original so you can get a reference of then versus now. Man, I've got a few. The originals. Sense8. Mindhunter. Constantine. Kingdom Drama. I'm sure there are others, but these are at the top of my head right now. Lol. I'm not okay with this. 1899. And with an E. I know they haven't been cancelled yet but if Good Omens and Our Flag Means Death don't get renewed, I'm gonna be so mad. Mindhunter this if I only had to pick one. The first am I the only one who liked this series? I am not okay with this. Why does Netflix keep cancelling series? I wish Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland had picked back up after the pandemic. But apparently a few of the actors had moved on to new projects. Mindhunter S3. But only if Fincher really wants to make it and the team is passionate. I don't want an half-assed season 3 returns to just have it suck. The Wire. I've watched it so many times, and I still hope the ending changes. Phenomenal acting, brilliant story and absolutely amazing writing. The Twilight Zone. And not the new Jordan Peele remake, I'm talking about a new and improved version of the OG show from the 50s and 60s. Nowadays they always fuck it up, so I hope they never bring back any good shows like Malcolm in the Middle, The Office, Raising Hope. I'm mad that Raised by Wolves was cancelled after 2 seasons, pouting face. It was such a good show. And it left so many questions unanswered. The Passage. Oh man, so bummed it ended right when it was going to be good. Season 2 Book 2 would be amazing as a series. Dark Matter. I went in on Netflix not knowing it had been cancelled and was still am super bummed Season 3 was cancelled. American Obstacle Course style game shows. American Gladiators. Legends of the Hidden Temple. Double Dare. Guts. Wipeout. I grew up watching this show like religiously and I had the Wii game and mobile game. Mobile game was total fire. Unsolved Mysteries. I know they do like 5 new episodes on Netflix a year, but I need more on a regular basis. So addicting. The ID Crowd. Especially at the level it was seasons 1-3. I also wish it would come back to Netflix or some streamer. The Big Bang Theory. I understand why it ended how it did, but I wish it would have continued on. It's my comfort show. Space 1999. I would love to have a reboot of that series. They'd have to change the name to refer to another year. Every 6 months or so I look at the news and think it's never been a more appropriate time to reboot Max Headroom. MASH. I think it'd be a positive for more people to be aware of war's costs. Maybe an update would be good. I'm thinking Seinfeld, but if you look at the main characters today, they are all old and decrepit looking. Celebrity Deathmatch. It was mad fun and I'd love to see it updated with the current crop of celebrities. I want a final season for Stargate Universe. Leaving a show on a cliffhanger like that is total bullshit. Reboot of Alien Nation. The themes of racism and anti-immigrant xenophobia are more relevant than ever. Kolchak the Night Stalker. The 70s Monsters was campy, but paved the way for X-Files and Supernatural. The Critic. It only had a 3-season run originally, but I always thought it'd be perfect for streaming. Jericho and Marco Polo. Others have also said Mindhunter, and I'd love for it to come back as well. 2003 Teen Titans and Spectacular Spider-Man. I pray to the sky gods every day for this to happen. HBO's Realm. Fantastic first season. Even rushed and overpacked, the second season was compelling. The way Merlin ended will never satisfy me. I get it's how canon lore went, but I'm still so sad. Top Gear with Clarkson, May, and Hammond. Perhaps a single season or half season or Seinfeld. I would be very interested to see how they deal with an updated reboot of All in the Family. Teenage Bounty Hunters. And my name is Earl, and yes, I know what the ending was supposed to be. Wishbone. I owe much of my knowledge of and appreciation for classic literature to that dog. I'd like a continuation of Merlin. BBC focused on Camelot under the rule of Queen Guinevere. Not in a let's make more episodes, but in a let's get it where I can buy it. Mr. Belvedere. Santa Clarita Diet. I have to know what happened to the husband after Mr. Ball Legs. Unpopular opinion. I wish they continued Scream's TV show instead of making S3 a reboot. Tales from the Crypt. The world needs the wisdom of the Crypt Keeper no more than ever. Teen Titans. Static Shock. Batman Beyond. X-Men Evolution. I'm sensing a pattern here. Land of the Friggin' Lost with special effects that are actually special this time. Sopranos. But only with Gandolfini, which is impossible. Wish he was still around. The Expanse. There is so much more to tell. Also Project Blue Book. Love that show. One of these United States of Terra or Terminator. The Sarah Connor Chronicles. A country music variety show like the Tommy Hunter Show or Glenn Campbell's show. Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, because then Matthew Perry would be alive again. Dominion, or the show where a guy goes back in time to capture dinos for his zoo. Looks wistfully into the distance as Phantom Planet's California starts up. Space Above and Beyond. Bastards ended it on a cliffhanger then cancelled it. American Gods. Theoa. Mindhunter. X200B. Damn it, we need closure. Mindhunter. Not having third season is the worst thing Netflix has ever done. The Last Man on Earth. Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles. Bless the hearts. Maybe not brought back, but dear God, I wish they continued Freaks and Geeks. Original Top Gear UK with the True Trio. Amazon is fumbling the Grand Tour. Curiously to see how long Married with Children would last on network TV. My Babysitter is a Vampire. That show had such a cliffhanger at the end. My classic TV trifecta. Three's Company. The Golden Girls, Night Court, Invader Zim. The Netflix movie was solid proof it deserves a comeback. I'd love to see Jericho resurrected or rebooted and given a proper run, a modern take on Mama's Family. That show was so well written and funny. Santa Clarita Diet, The Wire, Firefly, For Prosperity, Alaskan Daily, Sonic Underground. It's so underrated, and has a bangin' soundtrack. Sledgehammer. The actor knows a thing or two about a thing or two. Counterpart. Loved J.K. Simmons in that dual role. Ended too soon. Dollhouse had so much potential. I think it only lasted 2 seasons. My Name is Earl. I need to know how that was going to play out. Ashton Kutcher should star in a reboot of Greatest American Hero. My Babysitter's a Vampire. Red Band Society. Derry Girls. Timeless. The OG Whose Line Is It Anyways, with the OG cast and Drew Carey. Mindhunter. I wanna see the BTK thing they were building up to. Daybreak. I was disappointed when it didn't get a second season. Freaks and Geeks, but at the age as the actors were when it ended. Firefly as a Saturday morning cartoon. Kinda like Men in Black. The Wizard. Winning Time. Watchmen. South Central. Everybody Hates Chris. Paranormal Dead End Park. It got cancelled on a cliffhanger. Trailer Park Boys, but it won't be the same without Mr. Leahy. Patriot and Mindhunter. Shows cancelled almost criminally. Reboot. It ended on a cliffhanger and was never concluded. Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt, Monsters, Celebrity Deathmatch, but maybe we do it for real this go.